This is Gadget Stop 321. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at Vanness's White Lightning ink additive, and I'm going to see what it does to my Diamine Earl Grey. Now, this ink additive is made and bottled by the Vannesses in their pen shop, and it says that it's used in poor flowing or dry inks to increase flow consistency. Now, I'm not really having problems with the flow of Diamine Earl Grey. It just feels dry. And I noticed it especially in my Sailor 1911 Standard with a medium nib. I really wanted to use this ink in this pen, and it just feels dry. And I've been trying to think, how to describe this, what's causing this. Because like I said, I'm not having issues with flow. It's not skipping or hard starting or anything like that. And it just feels like this ink is less viscous than other inks that I've used. It just seems more watery. Now, I'm not having problems with it being undersaturated or anything like that. It's just that it feels watery and it makes the nib feel dry, and so it's not as pleasant to write with. So I'm gonna take a look. I've got my Sailor 1911 Standard inked up with Diamine Earl Grey, and I mixed it up. I don't have any sample bottles. The only little sample vial that I have has a sample of ink in it I just recently purchased. So the only little jar I had in my house is this little jar that had honey in it, and it's got a cork stopper, so I don't know how well this is gonna keep it from evaporating. But the directions say it is most effective when you use it in a concentration less than 1%. Well, I watched a video made by the Vannesses, and Lisa said she suggested mixing about 1 drop of White Lightning into 10 to 12 milliliters of your ink. And so I used 2 syringes full of Earl Grey, which I think is going to be about, each one I think is about 5.5 milliliters. So I've got approximately 11 milliliters of ink in here. I put 1 drop of the White Lightning, and so these 2 pens have White Lightning in them. I've got the Sailor medium nib, and I've got 2 Jinhao X750s with medium nibs. So the black pen and the Sailor have White Lightning, and the red has the original ink. So we're going to test this and see what we end up with. I'm going to try my Sailor medium first, because I had a writing sample already where I originally tried it. So this writing sample is the original Earl Grey. And, oh, I didn't bring my glasses up here. Let's see. Now this one is with White Lightning. Now, it still feels pretty dry, but let's see how it looks after it dries. I'm a fan of this ink, how it looks. I better put the pen. Okay. Let's compare these two. Okay, if I look at the word sailor, I don't know. I can't tell a whole lot of difference. It might, I think it has increased the flow a little bit. Like I'm looking at the 14K and the 14K up here. I think it has increased the flow. I wish I had two sailor medium nibs that I could write with them both at the same time. Look at the little swirlies. Yep, I think it has increased the flow. Let me try this one more time. Because the first ink that I put in this after I got it was the Diatramentus Sherlock Holmes, and yeah, it does. It still feels a little dry. The Diatramentus Sherlock Holmes just felt smooth. I put the pen to page and thought, ooh, this Sailor Medium nib is nice and smooth. And I put the Earl Grey in it and thought, ugh, this is not as smooth. Not scratchy, just a lot of friction, a lot of, it just, the nib tends to drag on the paper. But I like the way it looks. It does look a little different. It's putting down a little more ink. All right, let's try the other two. The Gin House. All right, this, the red one is no White Lightning. Now this is quite a bit smoother because it's a Gin Howe medium, which is a little bit bigger nib than the, wow, a little bit bigger nib than the Sailor. Okay. Now let's compare that to the one with White Lightning. I can't tell a significant difference. It's quite a bit smoother than the Sailor. And it's not supposed to change the appearance, so that is a thing in its favor. They do look the same. Let me try this one more time. This one is without. one is with. They're both just pretty smooth nibs. Let me try. This one is also with the Sailor. Yeah, it's pretty draggy. It's not as unpleasant as I remember it. I think I'm just getting used to it. On the Sailor medium nib that writes kind of fine to begin with, I'm seeing just the slightest bit more flow than before. Some of the letters I can tell the lines a little bit broader, but it's a tiny difference. With the larger Jinhao medium nibs, the difference, if there is one, is so slight that you can't detect it. Now, so I would say this white lightning is for inks that you're having actual flow issues with. If it's just that it feels dry, I don't think you're gonna see that much of a difference. But if you're having flow issues, I think you would probably see more of a difference. Yeah, I can tell that this writing sample is just a hair more broad than the previous one. So that's been interesting. I'm going to continue to play with it. I really enjoy Earl Grey in this pen, and I think as I just get used to how it's going to write, I'll enjoy it more, because I do enjoy this pen very much. So if you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up, and if you would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel.